soon as you're ready. I say, can't start until you're like...
I am ready. Now I'm ready.
Now, I am ready. Hi guys, welcome to our episode where we'll be going through some of the questions you guys have sent in through Instagram and doing our best to give you an insight behind the brand and answer the questions as best as possible.
Let's dive in.
No, you want to just say...
Let's Tom Daly in. We won't be able to answer everything, but we've gone through some of the most popularly asked questions and we're going to pick out some of the best ones and give you an insight.
So the first one I've got for you is, where do you plan on taking culture in the next few years?
For me, I think online's a big focus for us. That's where I can see us really growing at the minute. That is taking up a lot of our time and focus. The stores have got their place cemented, so I think that's where I can see us going. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think the growth we've seen online it's not comparable to a store where you've got limitations on the population and who's going to be in the area. So heavily online and trying to get culture to be more accessible to everyone across the country, and not just the people who live in a specified area where our stores currently are. So I think definitely over the next couple of years, the heavy focus is going to be online, and then just going to see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. Will there be smaller sizes coming in the hoodies and t-shirts? This is something we get asked quite a bit. We go down to an extra small, and we don't currently go any smaller at the minute. If we do end up doing like women's wear and things like that, then we will look at doing smaller sizes. But for now, extra small is sort of where we're at for that unisex sort of.
We do have different fits, so there are going to be hoodies that fit a little bit smaller, some that fit a little bit bigger, so your extra small could even fit smaller in them hoodies. It's just, I think you got to set a limitation on what size runs you can put out, and I think extra small to extra large is the most popular. So for the time being, there won't be a double extra small. There will be smaller sizing when women's eventually does hit our website, but for now, extra small to extra large for the foreseeable.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting one here is, what made you start culture? It's a good question. This.
Yeah. So we originally started with a brand called FK, which we had, and we were selling through a store in Swansea. The brand was doing decently well, and we wanted to sort of make our own store around that and have other brands in with it. So that's where we first took a lease on a really small unit in Swansea to try it out.
If you could see the brands we started with, hopefully we'll be able to get them on the screen for you, but the brands we started with were so small, and there was only like 3 external brands at the time, and then 3 which were based in Swansea.
Yeah, and I remember there was a couple of stores doing the same sort of thing. So getting hold of some of the other brands was a nightmare. We had to sort of work our way up, getting brand by brand, building it up.
There's other stores in the same city, weren't there?
Yeah.
And even just in the same area. And basically how it works, if another store in your area has got a certain brand and you can't have access to that brand, it's quite a difficult thing to get past, because a lot of these stores have been there for a long time. So you just sort of got to work around what is available. And the other thing with getting brands is you need brands to get brands. So it's almost like a game of chess. So you've got to figure out what's the next name you need to add to your list to then get the next tier of brands to like consider stocking with you. So that's why it's been like a 6-year process of getting to the brand level that we have now, starting from literally the bottom. Some of the brands we started with don't even exist anymore. They were just small little brands, and
it is wild.
Yeah, it's been mad.
So I've got here, where would you want to open your next store?
We disagree on this quite a lot. I think if you'd asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I'd probably have said like Manchester or London. I probably still would like London, and I do think Manchester is a good place to go, but I think the way we're looking to open stores going forward would be to have them in key areas of Europe. So it would be like your London, Paris, Madrid, stuff like that. So whether we just skip past Manchester now and go straight to the big ones, I don't know.
Yeah, that's where I'd prefer London, I think. I think people travel from all over the world to go to London. And that is somewhere I'd like to have a flagship store.
Milan, Paris, Madrid.
And just have the cities, and then we just push online. That's where I see it going.
It's the areas that are going to give your brand sort of like establishment. Like people see it and think, oh, that is like a serious brand because they're in the serious city, which is a fashion city. I think anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
So this one we've actually had asked the most is, what advice would you give to someone starting a brand?
I think it would be to not sort of jump in to manufacturing abroad straight away. I think
that was a big one, yeah.
Big, like a really big one. Like we wanted to get there straight away. Well, to be fair, when we started, there wasn't very good blanks about. Now you can get some really, really good blanks from like Portugal and places like that. That I would definitely look to start with smaller quantities first, because otherwise you get stuck with a load of stock. It takes you a while to clear, and your cash flow just gets messed up.
We couldn't get the right fits, the right fabrics at the time. There wasn't many blank. It was what, Ralaway's, Fire Label.
Yeah.
I mean, back then they didn't have that much range of good quality in style stock. Whereas now you've got like Rue Porter. What's that?
Yeah, there's can't remember what the other one is, but it's from.
Can't remember the name, but there's a few good ones out there, and you see them come up on Instagram all the time. So it's I think if you're starting, is to start small. Like when you go abroad,
way more accessible for like getting blanks now.
Yeah, when you go abroad, you're looking at more like 100 plus pieces to go into production. Trying to sell 100 pieces of a brand new brand that doesn't have a core base of following is really, really hard. Like we know from experience, we've tried it, it's hard. I think the more you can like get it down to like, if you start in 10, 15 pieces that you can just get out there, sell and get content for it, and just try and grow an organic base of items that sell out, makes it more demanding as well.
The other one would be that I'd aim on getting a community built first. Not particularly make money, but make a community, because that community will drive you to build a bigger brand. And when you release the product, at least you've got people to release it to. So when you start going abroad and getting the hundreds plus, at least you've already got a community built there that are there willing to buy.
Yeah, we have no answers for how to build a community. That's still something that we're working on. I think it's something all brands are working on. The only thing you can really say is to show what your brand is and just be authentic with it, and just put yourself out there and just try and showcase to people what the lifestyle of your brand is. That's the only advice I can give on that.
So the next question is, who inspired you to make the type of clothing we do?
So when we started and there was FKA, we sort of split off about a year ago into FK and Culture Heritage. The reason was, I think me and Ben both have very different influences and views on fashion, and I think my inspirations were sort of European brands, from your street level brands like New Project, Scuffers, right the way up to like, you know, your Rudes and stuff like that. I think that European look is the stuff that I like the most. I think they have the biggest influence on me at the minute, which I think is one of the biggest differences between mine and Ben's designs, which is why you'll find out later on there is a new tier to what Culture Heritage is. Yeah,
100%. I think I like much more clean silhouettes, working with nice fabrics, like keeping it super simple and minimalistic and timeless. That is what I like. I like that high fashion look, and it sort of didn't fit with Culture Heritage as a brand. Like you said, it's very sort of European looking. Yeah, we've definitely got something coming for that that we will announce soon.
Yeah, there'll be a separate video on that, specifically about the first capsule of that, which would be, it's more heavily designed by Ben, and it's just a different tier to Culture Heritage. It's its own sort of like string of Culture Heritage. We'll show you that. So we've had a couple of people ask as well how they'd get their brand into our store.
So we get asked this quite a lot, about how to get brands in the store. We actually buy about a year in advance in Paris, London, Manchester through agencies. So yeah, we'd probably say to contact them agencies and then work through them, because a lot of stores will go through an agency for taking on brands.
We are always happy to look at brands. If you do have a lookbook and like a line sheet for your brand, it would have to be around the same season. So we've got budgets for season by season, which would mean, say we're sat here now in September, autumn, winter season. We've spent autumn, winter's budget. That'll take us right up to like Feb, March. We've also spent spring, summer's budget for next year. That'll take us right back up to September. So the next sort of buying we'll be doing with open budget would be for September next year onwards. So you'd have to be looking at what stock you're going to have at that time. And that's the only place you'll be able to like look at that from. I think most big stores buy in a year in advance at least.
Yeah.
Some even longer than a year in advance. So
Yeah, some of them are
it's
like
not one of them things we can just like check a brand in the store. But like we are looking to always find new up and coming brands as well. So I think that is really important to have like a unique.
Yeah, we have always taken on like up and coming brands. So yeah, it's just being sort of fitting with our buying season really.
If you have a lookbook and a line sheet, then it's always worth sending over to us, either through Instagram or email.
So the last question we've got.
Not the last. No, it's not the last question. Also, just want to add this one in because we have been asked. It's not the last fucking hell.
So the last question we got. So we've been asked a couple of times when the Fleece releases from Culture Heritage.
So the Fleece should land around mid-October, maybe the back end of October. It's just finishing up in production now. Then we've got to get it all Photoshop and get it out in the stores. So it's about four, maybe 5 weeks, and that'll be out.
So that's the end of this Q&A. We will be doing another one probably next month, something like that. We'll try and do like monthly or every couple of months to keep up with the questions, and hope you enjoyed.